I see this all the time, right? Kids online on Reddit just looking for trading buddies, looking for a group of traders to join, looking for something, something that doesn't really or shouldn't really exist. And I keep telling people that trading is not a team sport. Nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody cares. They have this image of Wall Street guys sitting in their offices and watching charts, clicking buy and sell and screaming at each other who made more money, etc., etc. Well, they have this image, right, set into their brain, but the truth is, that's not how retail trading works, right? Let's not talk about institutional trading, Wall Street, etc., etc. Let's talk about retail trading, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We are retail traders. We are sitting at home watching at MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, whatever, C-Trader, prop firm, blah, 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 blah. That's what we're doing. We are retail traders. We are not institutions and hedge funds, etc., etc., etc. So let's talk about retail trading. And retail trading is not a team sport. It is far away from everything you've seen on TV. It is far away from everything you've seen on, in this on Netflix, in the movies, whatever. This is a very, very specific business. Okay, so for starters, why do people insist on having trading partners, trading buddies, right? Well, it's actually very, very simple, because we've been brought up in a system where, everyone claims that teamwork is the dream work. The more people, the more work you get done, the better you are at what you do. But in trading is actually exactly the opposite, right? Once you have a very good understanding of what trading is, you have your trading plan, you have your data, you have your system, your strategy, etc., etc. Once you have everything, well, at that point in time, all you have to do is literally just execute your system over and over and over again, with the fact that trading is a marathon, not a sprint, in mind, right? You have to understand that what you're doing is a long-term play, a long-term game. So at that point, you're already a self-sustainable trader. You don't need anyone else to do any sort of thinking, work, or analyzing, or whatever, because you already have everything written down to the T. All you do is you execute something over and over and over again, right? So why would you want another member to a party, giving you advice, giving you their own opinion, where there is literally none necessary, right? You don't need advice if you already have a working system that's based on math, on data, and you don't need someone's opinion, because opinions don't really mean anything in trading. Opinions can stick to something else, but they definitely do not belong into a business where math is literally everything. Well, the truth is that complete beginners can get a lot of value, from group chats or Discord servers or whatever, where there's a ton of traders, because the base knowledge, like what's a candlestick, what's a trend, what's a, Fibonacci retracement, or whatever kids use these days, right? You have to learn all that stuff from somewhere, right? So if you learn from YouTube, if you learn from a Discord chat, if you learn from a friend, or wherever you're going to learn that from, that's completely fine, right? But once you get to a level where you can open the charts, where you can do analysis, where you can open a position by yourself without the help of others, that is the exact moment where you should leave all of that behind and continue on a solo journey, because that's what trading is. It's a game, you versus everyone else, not you and five of your friends versus everyone else, right? Because if you are part of a group and everyone is trading the same strategy, the same system, the same everything, right? Basically all you're doing is sitting together with five people who do absolutely the same action without, any real added value, considering there's more of you, right? If you look at it that way, four of you could just, go and play football or basketball or anything like that, and one of you should just stay in the office and click the buttons, because there's no need for 5 people to do the same thing every single day over and over and over again. So imagine a scenario where you are a part of a trading group, right? And you're looking at a trade, you have everything calculated, your lot sizes, your stops, everything, and you're basically ready to enter into the markets. But some other member of the group is going to be like, you know what, I don't really think that's a good idea, I don't think that's a good trade because of this, because of that, blah 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 blah. And then you're sat there and you're thinking, what if this guy's right? What if there's something I'm missing? What if there's something I'm not doing right at this point in time? And you simply decide you're not gonna open the trade, you're not gonna risk the amount of money you were gonna do, and you sit this one out. A couple of hours go by and you decide to check on the charts again, and there you have it. The trade you missed was a profitable trade. And you start thinking, is it my fault? Is it that guy's fault? Who is it to blame? Right? So these are the type of scenarios you're trying to avoid as a trader, right? You have to be responsible for your own decisions in the market, and you should not even rely on opinions. Again, trading is based on data. Trading is based on math and not on what, the charts look like to someone at some point in time. Someone could be like, well, this looks ready to short, and the other guys are like, oh no, but this looks like a long position. No, we don't care. It doesn't matter. There's data, there's math, there's a system in place. We take every single opportunity and let the edge play out. And don't even get me started on the word edge, because everybody seems to be throwing that word around nowadays like it's, popcorn or whatever. And I could go on and on and on for days about scenarios like this, where it's just proved where group trading and group decision making, etc., is just not going to turn out well. It's just not going to go the way you want it to go. So to everybody who's still thinking about joining trading groups and Discord servers in 2026, please reconsider, give it a thought. Please reconsider, think about it, because trading is a solo game. Trading is not a team sport. Even for those who write posts on Reddit, rate my setup. What should I do? Should I take this setup? Did you guys take this setup? Well, no, right? You're asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong questions. Trading isn't a universal language. Past the core principle of trading, there's a million ways you can interpret it, right? There's a million systems, a million strategies, a million risk modules, a million everything. So asking, if I'm asking you, did you take this trade? I was like, what are you asking me? It's like we're speaking a different language, because my system doesn't necessarily align with your system, etc., etc., etc. So this question really doesn't matter. This question is not really a question when it comes to trading. You have to understand that trading is almost like a living thing, to each their own, right? Past the core, again, past the core principle, because the core principle should be the same for everybody. You aim to win more than you lose, and you want to win as much as possible, right? That's the principle of trading. And it's based on math, right? So anything beyond that is not a universal thing. So you do you. Don't join groups.